Welcome to Spirituality Explained for the Average Joe, where I take one spiritual topic and explain it to you in a short video. Today's episode is on humility.
Of course I'm a model.
Now, who thinks humility is a good thing? Humility is actually one of the most powerful, attractive qualities that we humans can have, yet no one's really talking about it or exploring it. So on today's episode, we are going to go over the myths of humility, why we want dynamic humility, 15 tips to be more humble, and then we compare people with ego versus humbleness. But before we get started, please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm hoping I'm bringing value and inspiration into your life, and I hope today you will take away a cookie of how to be more humble and attractive to others. What is humility? A modest or low view of one's own importance. Now, I think this is where the confusion comes in, because humility is really having an accurate view of oneself. And Confucius says humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. That's saying a lot. And Mother Teresa, her view is more of a toughness type humility. She says that humility is the mother of all virtues. Myth number one, humble people lack confidence. When actually, prideful people tend to be the most insecure, while humble people are just quietly confident. Think about it. How do you learn humility? You learn humility by being humiliated. And most of us, when we're humiliated, kind of become defensive. But a spiritual person will allow and accept themselves to be vulnerable in front of others. And you may not realize it, guys, but vulnerability is sexy. I come from the acting world, and casting directors mainly cast and pick actors off two things. One is confidence, and two is vulnerability. When you're vulnerable, you're being real. And as an actor, you need to be real in the scene. You've got to be vulnerable. And speaking of attractive, that leads us to myth number two. Humble people aren't attractive, when actually it's quite the opposite. A humble person is willing to not talk about themselves, but actually be a good listener and listen to you, versus talking about themselves. And anyone, as you know, to win, if you've ever read a book about how to win others over, the way to do that is ask questions about someone, but then actually listen to what they have to say and engage in a conversation about their passion and what they're talking about. So why do we want dynamic humility? Let's just go over the cool things about humility. Humility is a virtue, a soul quality, complete confidence. It's a skill set, authentic, empowering, highly effective in both personal and professional forms of life. Modest, unassuming, can deliver, has a lot of power. They are not offended or intimidated. You can let someone speak and listen completely and calmly. Reply and state your side. You are leading even when you are following because of your influence. It's not weak, it's not passive, can't be manipulated because it's authentic, because you know who you are. The glory of God can flow through you. Gives respect to others when they don't deserve it. Not a doormat. Not being intimidated because I know who I am. Not ever being offended. Ooh, that's a hard one, never being offended, right? Because our knee-jerk reaction is to always kind of take things personally, right? So humility is something that I think we could always work on, but for those that are really quiet and calm and calculated and kind of yogi-like that we know in life, they've probably worked on this skill, whether they know it or not, the skill of humility. 15 tips on how we can be more humble. And this is coming from Mother Teresa herself. 1, speak as little as possible about yourself. Number 2, keep busy with your own affairs and not those of others. Number 3, avoid curiosity. And in this one, she's referring to curiosity of other people's affairs. Number 4, don't interfere in the affairs of others. 2 through 4 have all got to do with not mucking about in the affairs of others. If this is not blatantly clear, what someone else is doing with their life is none of your business. So we need to probably stop comparing ourselves to others, and right? Like not being curious about someone, like why is she with him? Why would we waste our time thinking about maybe people that might be in our competition or might be in our small town or our family members? It doesn't matter. Like why not put our thoughts and efforts into building our own, goals and projects? You know, they say that most of our thoughts tend to be the same. And if we want to grow and have a different tomorrow, you have to start shifting the majority of your thoughts every day to being different types of thoughts. So let's not waste our time with our thoughts being about our neighbors or the people around us, because they don't control our success, we do. Accept small irritations with good humor. So guys, this is going to require you to be self-loving, right? Because I feel like a lot of the small irritations we do every day have to do with little hiccups ourselves. Like I didn't leave early enough, or I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Sweet, kind self-love. 6, do not dwell on faults of others. Oh, more of this not thinking about other people or blaming other people. 7, accepts censors, even if unmerited. Woo! So what that means is if you say something online or in person, and they censor you, meaning like, they take your dialogue and want to twist it up or change it or just say it's wrong, whew, you take it. Just take it. It's their thing, not yours. And if it does bother you, that means internally you need to work on yourself. Right now, it's their problem. It's their internal muck that they're throwing at you. And if you choose not to accept the muck, it means that there's no muck for you to fix inside. 8, give in to the will of others. Okay, guys, think when you're working with a group or maybe your family and multiple people are trying to come together to do something. You know, being humble, you probably are a leader. You probably have really good ideas, but at the same time, you're trying to build people around you and help them feel important and, you know, abundant. So yes, when other people have ideas, surrender and say, you know what, we could do it that way, or we could leave it that time, or we could make that work. 9, accept insults and injuries. This one's a hard one because accepting it means you actually, you know, it always hurts to know that you're wrong. It's an injury because it's true, right? It hit a nerve. So it's hard to do that and look at our own faults, but do it and still love yourself. 10, accept contempt, being forgotten and disregarded. Whew, these are getting tougher, right? That is huge because we all just want to be seen and heard. And this is saying, let someone just throw you away like you're nothing and be okay with it. That'll make you strong. 11, be courteous and delicate, even when provoked by someone. I think this quality was something that was much more prevalent in older times. I hate to say it, but think about it, being delicate. Like we used to be that way with our grandparents, right? This is actually saying, be delicate with everyone. Whew. 12, don't seek to be admired and loved. Well, as I said, I come from the acting world. I mean, I'm an actor, and I have to say, being in LA and being in the creative industry, we all know that we love people's eyes and affection and admiration on us because we are performers, because we want to seek admiration. So this one is definitely an interesting balance for myself and many others out there. We all want to have admiration and love from people. I guess some of us want it from a larger audience and some want it more closely from an intimate family knit circle, but it's something that we're not supposed to seek. 13, do not protect yourself behind your own dignity. Ooh, what does this one mean?
Well, the definition of dignity is the right of a person to be valued and respected for their own sakes. So this means every person should be basically treated with respect just because they exist, right? So don't protect yourself behind your dignity. Put yourself out there, allow yourself to be disrespected or not valued by welcoming criticism, feedback, and an open dialogue. So often do our leaders in positions in power, whether it's a CEO or a politician, doesn't allow their constituents or their employees to be on their same level. They're protecting themselves behind this extra layer of dignity that comes with having a higher office. 14, give in discussions, even when you are right. Oh man, that's hard, right? Gosh, I don't know what my astrology makeup is, but I'm a Sagittarius. I love to teach. I'm brainy. Oh my gosh. So it's so hard when I'm right not to be like, 15, choose always the more difficult task. I think that's really going to help you keep progressing and reach success. I don't know how it necessarily makes you more humble, but choose always the more difficult path. I hope this helped. Please let me know what your thoughts on humility are and what your thoughts on how to be more humble are, because I can only perceive it in so many directions and from my own little limited perspective. Okay guys, so now we're going to have fun.
start picturing people you don't like or people that are bothering you and definitely picture yourself, and let's size up on how egotistic or humble we are. So we're going to go ego versus humility. Okay, well first, someone who is very egotistic, someone who is very egotistic is born with an inferiority complex and acts like he has a superiority complex. And whereas someone who is humble is born of wisdom and knowledge of their true self. And kind of let's expand on true self. True self is really just having an understanding of what you are capable of and where you came from. And even in the larger context of, well, I'm just here because I'm a particle piece of God thought and God's creation. And it's, again, so you're even humble towards, the humility is turned towards God, meaning I'm just a God particle and God thought and God's play, God's Leela down here, which is just a picture show, a movie that we're dreaming, and we'll all go home one day. So egotistic people are always refusing the truth, or it's just bouncing right off them and they're narrow-minded, right? Where someone who is humble is always hungry to learn more. Egotism reveals itself by always trying to make others look small, whereas humbleness is someone that has an understanding heart, meaning they look at others and just, understand the hardships that someone might be going through and, probably compassionate. Okay, here's a good one, guys. Egotism is the brittle imitation armor of deluded souls, while humbleness is the inner costume of saints. The egotistical man has plenty of time to talk about how great he is because he's not busy doing great things, while the humble man is so busy doing great things that he has no time to talk about himself. So pride blocks the glory of God when we're self-centered, but humility is attractive to God. It's one of the most pleasing virtues for him. So I hope we take away some nuggets on humility today. And I guess if I've learned anything from these notes and reviewing these things is that whatever we want from others and however we want to be treated from others, we first have to be it ourselves. Okay guys, well, I hope this helps being more likable and attractive to others. Please like and follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel and comment. I am doing my best to grow this sucker and puppy, and I hope my videos are bringing some, I don't know, I just hope that in some way you could always just get one thing that clicks in your brain that you could take with you, because I listen to YouTube all day, and my favorite channels are something that it's very clear and concrete, and it sticks with my head. It sticks in your brain. So I hope that I'm doing that for you. I don't know. Please let me know. Love you guys so much. Please share me with anyone you think I might bring inspiration to. Guys, if you like cool retro shirts and bags and hats and mugs and stuff, go to my website and check out some of my merchandise I have available.